Hi friends, in the last video we've seen what is a diode, right? In this video we'll see some applications of diode. First of all, diode can act as a rectifier. As you see here, when we give a alternating voltage source, that is, it produces alternating current, right? Our final output is given as only positive current, that is current only in one direction. It does not change its direction. That is what is the meaning of rectifier. Now why does this happen? You know that this is the symbol of diode, right? And diode conducts current when it is in the when it is in forward biased condition, and it doesn't conduct current when it is in reverse bias. Of course, there is some limitation. I'll explain you. If this is the graph of current versus voltage for the diode, say, then what happens? There is something called as breakdown voltage. Of course, if your region or if your current is somewhere here or the voltage is somewhere here, then you will have a limitation that okay, there is current too much here, but we want it to not conduct, right, when it is in reverse bias region. So the condition is your alternating voltage source, the magnitude of it or the amplitude of it should be less than the breakdown voltage, this one, breakdown voltage of the diode. The amplitude of your alternating voltage should be less than the breakdown voltage of that particular diode which you are using, provided that you can say that in the negative half cycle, since this will be somewhere in this region only, then the diode doesn't conduct, so it acts as insulator that time. And in the forward bias condition, yes, it conducts current, right? So only the positive half cycles are finally transmitted to your load resistance. Say load resistance is anything, your device. It may be a refrigerator or it may be something else. It is just something which offers resistance. That's your device. So this is how a rectifier is designed. Just use a diode, then you are going to get only current in one direction. That is, only positive half cycles are taken. Now the limitation of this is the other half cycle is just not conducted, right? But there is something called as full wave rectifier. This is half wave, right? This is a full wave rectifier. Here what happens? The positive half is transmitted and the negative half is converted into positive. That is what is full wave rectifier. I'll explain you. Now this is a transformer, right? We discussed about this in previous chapters. Well, this is the secondary coil of transformer, and note that at the center of this transformer it is attached to ground. It is grounded, right? So this is called as center trap transformer. Here the voltage is alternating. So let this point be A and let this middle point be G, G for ground, and let this be B. For the first half of cycle, what happens? A will be at higher potential than ground, so A will be positive, say, and at B will be less than G, right? So it will be negative in potential. So this is anyways ground, our final, this point, this is grounded. Okay, so what can we say? Here A is at higher potential and it comes this way, and finally it is grounded here. So D1 is forward biased and hence D1 conducts. And what about D2? Here B is negative, observe that, and it comes to ground here. So D2 is reverse biased and hence it doesn't conduct. This is for positive half of cycle. So for the positive half of cycle, D1 conducts and D2 is reverse biased, and hence the current goes this way. So you are not going to get any current passing through D2. That's how you get the positive half of cycle. For the negative half of cycle, which is in this way, B is at higher potential, right? So since this is grounded in the middle, so B will be positive and hence A will be negative. That is lower potential. What does it mean? Here B is at positive, that is higher potential, and hence, and here it goes like this, and here it is grounded, right? So what can we say? For the negative half of cycle, D2 conducts, that is D2 is in forward biased condition, and A is negative, right? And hence here it is grounded. So what can we say? D2, that is not D1, sorry, D1 is in reverse biased condition. So for the negative half of cycle, D2 is forward biased and D1 is reverse biased, and hence D2 conducts and D1 acts as insulator. So what can we say? Current goes like this. D2 conducts, right? And observe one thing. In the first case, we had current in this direction through load resistor, and in the second case when D2 conducts, then also we are having current in this direction only. So finally the current direction is not reversed. In the first half it was that, in the second half the negative cycle was converted in this direction. So finally we are getting current only in one direction. So we can say that the full wave has been rectified. That is why you call it as full wave rectifier. What is a capacitor filter? Observe that your output voltage or the output waveform was in this way, right? In the previous full wave rectifier case also. Okay, the current is in positive direction only, but note that it is not constant in magnitude. It is varying as a wave. So there are devices which work only on DC current and at a constant rate. That is, current should be provided like this. It should have a constant magnitude also. So to get this output, we use something called as filter. Actually, what this does is, there is a capacitor here. Are you able to observe this one? This is a capacitor, and this is your load resistance RL. What happens here? This is where we provide rectified full wave. We use the mechanism that I discussed in the previous slide. You provide a wave here which is rectified fully. So this will be your input, which is shown here. What happens in the first half of cycle? It is in the positive direction, right? Current. So current is passed like this, and note that this capacitor is also charged. That is what happens in the first half of cycle. Actually, till this point. Till this point, capacitor gets charged because current is increasing. And here, from here, it goes like this, right? Current is decreasing. So to compensate that, what happens? The capacitor is charged by this point, right? Then what happens? Capacitor gives charges in this way. So the current is decreasing, that is given from here. That is decreasing, but the capacitor is giving current. Are you able to get me? And finally, the load resistance receives approximately constant current. That is, first it was receiving current in this direction. Next, due to the source, actually current should fall, but because of the capacitor, it is giving current, right? It is giving charges. That is nothing but current. So the current again increases on the load resistance, and same cycle repeats. That is what you see here again and again. Of course, this fluctuation, this little fluctuation or this ripple can be controlled by using capacitor of suitable value. That's not a big problem. The key is, depending on your usage, you have to use a capacitor of suitable time constant. Time constant for capacitor is nothing but the product of capacitance and resistance. Okay, so this is how a filter works, that is capacitor filter works. Just the charges are stored when the current is increasing inside the capacitor. Hence, there is a potential difference between these 2 points A, B, because the charges are built up, right? And when capacitor is charged, it has a potential difference across it. And so when the next, not even half, this is quarter of cycle, right? Okay, for the next quarter of cycle, when the voltage is decreasing or the current is decreasing, the potential that is built across the capacitor plate, that gives the current through the load resistance, and hence you will have finally something like this diagram. You will have the output in this way, which is pretty much constant. As I said, using a suitable capacitor will give you almost equal DC output. Zener diode is a special type of diode which is denoted by this symbol or this symbol. Note this one here. And it is designed to operate under reverse bias in the breakdown region. This is our area of interest, and it is designed to operate under the reverse bias in the breakdown region and used as voltage regulator. You might have heard that the voltage regulator you use for your refrigerator is just to maintain or cut off the voltage fluctuations and give constant voltage. You might have heard that. Now you will get to know how it happens actually. That's nothing but a Zener diode. Now Zener diode is fabricated by heavily doping. So you can say that both the N type and P type that are used inside a Zener diode are doped heavily. They are doped heavily. And one more thing is that due to this heavy doping, the depletion region formed inside this Zener diode is very thin. And so you can also say that the electric field there is very high. Almost it is of the order of 10 power 6 or 10 power 7, something like that, volts per meter. So as you see, it is very high. This is our area of interest, right? Why? Because Zener diode operates in reverse bias condition and at this voltage, the Zener voltage, the breakdown voltage. Because here you observe, because it is doped heavily, normally the graph of diode would be like this, right? Something like this. And this low, which you are seeing here, is very high. It is almost vertical. Are you observing this? That is of interest to us because these values represent different currents, right? So for different values of current, you have almost same voltage, that is Zener voltage. It's not changing much. That property of the Zener diode is used for regulating supply voltages. Reverse current, as we have seen before, is due to the flow of electrons from P to N and flow of holes from N to P. And holes are minority charge carriers in N and electrons are minority charge carriers in P type. So they are going to their respective places where they are majority charge carriers. We have seen this before, right? You may ask that in the previous cases where we saw this, the number of charges were very little in the what number of electrons were little in the p type and number of holes were little in the n type because they were diffused and hence the drift current was very less. That was what we saw. But here you are saying that the current can be varied too much. That is it can be little or it can be very high also, and we are saying that a lot of current can also pass in this region. How is this possible? There we said that the drift current was very less, and here the current is very high. I mean, it allows even high currents. That is because it is doped heavily. That is why uh, the electrons which were diffused into the N and holes which were diffused into the P itself are very great here. That allows too many number of charges, and hence the current will be higher here. Note that that is the speciality of Zener diode. And when the Zener diode is operating in the this region at Zener voltage, the electric field, as I said, is very high, and that is able to pull back all the electrons to N type and all the holes to P type, and hence because of that there is very large current. That is, it allows large current also. This emission of electrons from the host atoms due to high electric field is known as internal field emission or field ionization, you can say. Let us see how Zener diode operates as a regulator. Now here you are giving a DC voltage input or say a rectified voltage input. That is, let us see how it compensates the fluctuations. Here is how the voltage goes, right? So the voltage across this diode is always constant, whatever may be the current. That's what we have seen just now, because it is operating in the Zener voltage region. So whatever may be the current, this will be constant, and that will be equal to the voltage that is required for our device to run, that is load resistance. So if the voltage is higher, the voltage across RS increases and voltage across Zener diode is same, and hence the sum will be higher as the voltage increases. If the voltage net voltage that is coming, input voltage, if that decreases suddenly, then what happens? The voltage across RS decreases, not which is across the Zener diode. Voltage across Zener diode still remains the same, and if the voltage increases, the potential difference across RS increases. If the input voltage decreases, potential across RS only decreases, and hence the change is manifested in RS, not in the diode, and hence this is constant. This is our output, right? That is used to run our device. That will be constant, and hence voltage is regulated. And note that voltage is constant across the diode, not the current. That is, if the voltage increases or decreases with the input, then current may increase or decrease in the diode. It doesn't matter. However, the voltage will be same.